Can you take a Find Your Voice article and turn it into coaching, courses, and continuity? We're going to answer that question here in just a few moments. Welcome to the Content Profit Show, episode 80. Thanks to you guys and your support of the show and your, getting involved in it. We're now scheduling into August, which is just crazy. We started as 1 and now we're doing 4 a week. And if you want to be on in a Content Profit seat, you want to go right below my name where it says jeffherring.com/set the date. That's how you get involved. Now, we have a great guest today. There's Miss Lorraine Lane, and we're going to introduce her after I make a couple of announcements. Again, we're booking into August. If you want one of these, go get it. There is a new course coming up called Summer of Profit 23, because I did Summer of Profit 22. Why not do 23? And that's going out in your emails, or ask me for the link and I'll give it to you for sure. All right. So Lorraine is, she comes out of the speaking industry, and I love the title of Find Your Voice because because everyone has one. And so Lorraine, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here. How did you get into the speaking world?
By accident. When I was in corporate America, I was in the training and development world. So I did a lot of training of managers. And then when I started my business, I was told I needed to network in order to market my business. And the networking groups would ask for you to do a 10-minute presentation. And I have stood up and facilitated training in front of 40, 50 managers. How hard can this be?
Oops.
Yes, it was. I can't tell you how awful it was. On a scale of 1 to 10, it was a -50. Yeah, it was really bad. So I kept whining about this, and my coach said to me, "Okay, when are you going to stop whining and do something about this?"
Ooh, good coach.
Yeah.
Good coach.
So I said,
Like
"Well,
little cheese with that wine.
I better do something."
Yeah.
So the goal was to prepare 3 10-minute talks to be ready at any time to say yes to an opportunity to do a talk. So
that'll do it. That'll do it. I remember creating what I called my stand-up 3. Any 3 I could give at any time. And this was crazy. I was down in, I think it was Cocoa Beach, and I was doing the lunch keynote and the dinner keynote. Lunch keynote I could do right now. I've done it so many times. The dinner keynote was a new one, and this was a foster group association, fostering or whatever. And so I created a talk around. I built an acronym out of foster and did a talk around that. Okay, and so I never talked with notes. I just it's in my head. I've rehearsed it enough, or I might have done a webinar on it, so I know it. And so I go up. I'm ready for the even one, and there are a couple people before me, and even though I never do notes, I thought, okay, this is brand new, just in case. Put the acronym with the word, on a sheet of paper, put it on the podium, just in case. And you may never get to the podium, Jeff. Usually I don't. But so the 2 people said something before me, like, a minute each. I go up to the podium to be introduced, and my stuff's gone. Whoever had spoken before me had taken it. And my training kicked in because I thought, all right, how many people know this? Me and maybe that person. And all I got to do is remember how to spell foster. And we'll see what we can come up with. And actually, some of them were from that one, the paper, but some of them I made up, standing up. So, and it's a really, really cool thing to be able to do, because you never know. That's why I'm excited about you being here. You never know the difference that you're going to make. Sometimes you will. Sometimes somebody will tell you now or later, but most of the times you just won't go.
Right.
And I find that to be really exciting. So Let's go take a look at your article.
Okay.
Here we go. I love it. Oh, wait a minute. That's your, well, there it is. Okay. Yeah. I went too far down as we talked about stuff. Now, what a great way to start off an article. Do you suffer from glossophobia? Lorraine, I used to be a counseling psychologist, and I didn't know what glossophobia was. I knew that fear of public speaking was a big one, right?
Right.
And so very cool. And then I love the way you name things. You talk about, people having to go on Zoom, and it created more anxiety.
Right.
ZPA, Zoom performance anxiety. I love it. I love it. Fear of speaking. Let's see. And then you talk about a couple of things. You come down here is when you introduce Find Your Voice, which I love. What do you mean by find your voice?
Okay, so what I notice is that people try to imitate other people instead of being who they are and find their own voice, their own message, their own uniqueness. And I'll give you an example. I was at a conference last year, and the keynote speaker, it was clear he was trying to imitate Tony Robbins.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah, that's a big one.
It was dreadful. It was dreadful.
Yes.
If he had spoken with his own voice, he would have reached the audience.
Yes.
He wasn't reaching them.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by find your voice.
I love it. I love it. And I love the focus on the uniqueness. And while you can learn from different people and incorporate it, it's still got to be in your voice. Mm-hmm. Like I get to have a pastor that's one of the best communicators in the world, a guy named Andy Stanley. And, sometimes I'll watch the message again just to see how he does it, because it's so good. But one of my favorite things he does that I've adopted when it's getting to a real critical piece of it, he'll go, everybody look up here, but in no way would I try to talk like him, because we're the same age, but we're different people. He's an introvert. I'm not. So yeah, I love it. Let's see. The key to world speaking arena. All right. Cool. And that was a nice call to action too. Folks, this is a way to do a sign up thing without a sign up page. Okay. Boom. I think that's brilliant. Just send a request there and you send it back, right?
Right.
And they're on your list, right?
Mm-hmm. That's
a beautiful thing. Now, Lorraine, you and everybody in the audience may hear this strange howling in the background. That's Duke, my shepherd husky wolf. And the only time he sounds like a wolf is when he hears sirens out in the world. And he's hearing some now. So fortunately, he's in another room. But he's doing that. I call it the kind of howl that if you're out camping somewhere, you think, uh-oh, this is not good. All right. So great article, great way to create an opt-in. So let's look at what we can do with this.
Okay.
So let me put it up. Where did it go? I'm learning a new way to do this, so bear with me. There it is. Slideshow. Where did everything go? All right. So find your voice article. It's just what I called it because that's the term I really thought captured what you're talking about. You can use whatever title you want in everything we're going to do. Lots and lots of traffic can come from Medium, and I've done the research over there. Speaking is big and ripe for taking over. Okay. I noticed you got a Medium account, so we'll get you started over there. Now, take this, and we talked about doing coaching, courses, and continuity. Okay. And so what you do, I think, really screams for a short-term coaching. And by short-term, I mean, you can do it one time, one session, or it could be 3. And what I mean by this is, and probably I should have said group coaching. This is one of the first things I ever did online back in I think it was still '07, might have been '06. I mean, other way around. Might have still been '06, might have been '07. Is I gathered 5 people together, and I was going to give a website review to each. Okay, and we spent like hour and 15, hour and 30. Each person got 20 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this was in the teleseminar days, So I'm just looking at it and they're writing notes. Not everybody even can see it unless they've looked it up too. And so I charged $150 a person. And so, for 2 hours work, $750. Not bad then and not bad now. And so that's one way to do it. Like what one small thing could you help one of your folks get a result on in speaking in 20 minutes?
On how to capture your audience's attention right away.
I like that.
If you don't, they're scrolling.
Yes, that's for sure. That's for sure. Or if it's in person, they're not really there.
Right.
Yeah. I love it. So you could do that with, 5, 6 people, 20 minutes each. Boom.
Right.
And the cool thing about that is they've got a taste of your coaching now. And a percentage of those people are going to want more.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I could count on you to come up with something for it from your world, because I can tell you're good at it. And I'm sure there's others you could do too. Okay, so that's the coaching. Find your voice course. This could be any number of modules, whatever you think is the 3 or 5 or 7 essential things that they need to know. This would be something like your flagship course, something you become known for.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't go past 7 modules.
Okay.
Even what I would even suggest is, if you did 7, make 5 of them the course and 2 of them 2 bonuses.
Okay.
That way you don't got to create new bonuses or whatever. Now, where this gets really fun is working backwards, because let's say you did 5 modules. Each one of those speaking topics could be its own mini course.
Right.
Right. So now you've got thank you, Duke, the short-term coaching, the course, and now all the mini courses that drive people to the course. It's okay, pal. It's all right. It's all right. He always wants to be on camera, on stage or something. All right. So that gives you 1 and then 6 products if you do the 5 minis and this one big one. Making sense so far?
Yes.
Getting a little glimpse of what's possible?
Mm-hmm.
Good. I'm glad. I can tell. All right. So next. It doesn't have to be 8-week. I just put that in there as a suggestion. A short-term membership. And one of the good things about that is there still are a lot of people that are scared to get into an ongoing membership. They're afraid they'll never be able to get out. Or if they're around our generation, they remember the Columbia House deal, right? Mm-hmm. Remember that? When you could get 11 albums for a cent and they sent you these expensive ones? Yeah. This is not that, is what I say to people. But yeah. Okay. And so a short-term one could bypass that. And, I would say at least 7 or 8 weeks, so that you can do recurring billing, like 47 for the first month, 47 for the second, or 37 first, 37 second. One of my, not one of my first ones, but one of my early ones was article marketing for beginners, and all it really was a lesson and a video training every month. I mean, every week. And so the cool thing is, if you stretch it out, to start, you only have to have week 1. Mm-hmm. And then you just got to stay ahead.
Right.
With article marketing for beginners, I'll be transparent here. It was a 12-week program. I had about 5 in the bank. I thought, okay, I just need to stay ahead, which I did, because I started it on a Thursday. So I knew I had to have a new one by Thursday. And, once you've done 12, it's already a product waiting for people. But there were some Wednesday nights I was up pretty late. That thing done for Thursday. So there's that. And then finally, a monthly membership. Okay? Because I think the speaking world is hungry for that. I don't see a lot of that around where you could take a group and, that becomes your, find your voice nation, where you bring them along every month. And I'm real big on two things: service delivery time and service consumption time. And, we're busy and they're busy, right? And so something like this, you could do a training a month and a Q&A a month. And that would be all you had to do.
Right.
Now, the beautiful thing about this is that as I look at the numbers over time, about a third of the people that take your course are going to end up here because they want more of you. And so if you got 10, you're going to have 3 new people. If you got 100, 33. This one is even better. About half of the people that take a short-term membership end up in the long-term. And so these are great feeders. They're great standalone. And they're good feeders for the long-term membership. All right. It always amazes me, Lorraine, how fast 20 minutes go by. Right. We're already at wrap-up time. What kind of questions can I answer for you?
Well, you're giving me a lot to think about. I have a program called the Presentation Blueprint.
I saw that in your article. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 12 weeks, and I think it's too long. I think I need to give a beginner.
Yep.
And then can go into more in depth. Yeah.
Or even do beginner, intermediate, advanced.
True. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. That 12 weeks is kind of long for that. But what a good name, Presentation Blueprint. Right?
I get people from way beginning and work them through till they actually deliver their 10-minute presentation and get feedback.
Oh, that's powerful. Do they do that with an audience, or do they do that
within the group?
That's you know what? Somewhere in this, I was going to suggest that. Good for you, because there's an audience right there. And now that we're doing the Zoom thing, I remember years ago, and I thought about this a lot when COVID hit and Zoom. I was working with a client back when I was a counseling psychologist she was like an interview away from her dream job. It was everything she'd always wanted. She came in one day in a panic. What's up? She goes, well, I have one more interview. Well, great. But the problem was she had to present sitting down.
Whoa.
Instead of standing up. Right? And I thought, I can relate to that. It's harder for me sitting down, not now, but then. And, sometimes something just pops in your head, I think, from above, because what I heard coming out of my mouth was, well, standing is just sitting on your feet and sitting is just standing on your butt. And it worked. She got the job. So,
good.
I mean, the world is ripe for you with what you've got going on. And, we've seen a glimpse of the future here. That presentation blueprint, you could run that through just with that, with the presentation blueprint, run this through this model.
Right. Yeah.
Because you're going to talk about all of those things, the Zoom anxiety, the find your voice, the presentation blueprint. And I'm excited for you. I can't wait to help you take over Medium in speaking and get this stuff out there. So thank you for being a great guest.
Thank you.
And bringing great material. And I'm glad you came back to us fresh. You had 4 days away, so it was going to be perfect, right?
Yeah.
All right. So folks, if you want to be sitting in Lorraine's seat, not in her home, but in a content profit seat, the link's right below my name. And again, we're booking all the way into August, so jump on this, folks. And again, Lorraine, thank you for being here. Thank you for being such a great audience, everyone. And as always, until the next episode, you know what to do. Go use this stuff.